So you want to know my story, don't you? Well, let me tell you something, child. You're the only person who's ever heard my story fully. So, where do I begin? Oh yeah, now we remember. See, I was 10 when my story started. I was wondering, why couldn't I go outside like all the other girls? I always saw everyone through the window, but I never really got to see everyone like outside, because my mother told me that I was special, that I couldn't go outside because I might break like glass. She told me. She said, because you have hinges for arms and legs and your skin is as delicate as glass, that I could fall and die by just breaking the glass off my skin, and I'd be nothing but flesh and bones, she told me. But the more years passed, and I felt so lonely until I was the age of 10, where she had a mental breakdown, plus 2 bottles of wine and an entire bottle of tequila. She said, "You stupid little girl! I wish I have never have given birth to you cursed object! I'd rather burn in hell than have to raise something like you!" And so she lit the place on fire, and I barely had any time to escape, and she let herself inside. She left herself inside so she could burn. I tried to save her, but she was like, "No, stay away from me, you fucking monster!" And I was heartbroken because I thought my mother loved me. I thought my mother, my own mother, why would she leave me like that? Why? Why would she? And to make things worse, the townspeople thought that I was the one who killed her. They chased me downtown saying, "Monster, freak, disgusting creature." And so, luckily, the toy maker, he took me in when I had no one else to go, because I was hiding behind his store, and he opened the door and said, "What are you doing back here?" he said. And I have nowhere else to go. And he said, "Oh, I've heard of you. Come inside." I was skeptical at first because it was like, I thought that he was going to take me in and burn me like everyone else. But for some reason, I felt like I could trust this man. So I went inside, and he raised me like a daughter for years, and we moved. We moved to the city because if we stayed any longer, the jig would be up that he was raising a convicted murderer. And so we moved to the city. And I thought things would be better because I thought things would be more accepting there for what I am, but I was wrong. He opened his own shop over there, and I started going to public high school. Sometimes I still wish he still homeschooled me, like he did in our small town. And so he said that, "Don't worry, child. If people give you a hard time, just say it's off Amy's back." And so I took his advice. And plus, I keep telling myself, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But when I got to school, things wasn't that simple. Everyone was scared of me. They were running away from me, thinking that I was a walking doll from Chucky or something. And I was heartbroken because I felt like I belonged nowhere, that I didn't belong anywhere. And more time passed, the more they started thinking I was an easy target. And so they'd say cruel names to me related to my glass skin and hinges on my arms and my legs and my knees and my elbows, and they would just keep teasing me, and they'd throw bricks at me. They'd throw hard objects at me thinking that they would break my skin just because it looked like glass. And so I felt lonely. I had nowhere else to go, so I always hung out in the library. After I started going into the occult section, I ran into a boy. Oh my god. He was the most handsome man I have ever seen. I thought, he's way out of my league. And then he said hi. He introduced himself. He said, "Hi, my name's Gerard. What's your name, sweetheart?" I was like, my name is Amy, I said. And he said, "Hey, how about you hang out at lunchtime? How about we just go get out of school and we could eat lunch outside of it so no one can see us?" And honestly, I thought that was the best decision that I ever made, because I actually had my first friend. And 5 months have passed and we started dating and things gotten better, and I've never felt this happy before in my life. I haven't felt this happy since the toy maker took me in and raised me as his daughter. And so 5 months after we started dating, he asked, "Hey, how about you come to my place for a little bit? I have some gifts I want to give you." I was so excited, so I got ready for sure. And I felt that he actually made me feel beautiful, and I thought I could be more confident in my own body. And so I put on a tube top and some short shorts, and I put my hair in pigtails, and I made sure that I was gussied up for him. And I put on the Converse, and I was on my way. And so he said, "Come in." And everything was beautiful. He set up flowers, roses were my favorite, and we had an amazing lobster dinner. And he said, "How about you come downstairs with me? I have your final gift down there." I was appalled after he said that. I was terrified because I knew something was happening. I knew in my gut that something was gonna happen. But I didn't listen to it because love blinded me from my own self. And so I trusted him and I went downstairs. When I went downstairs, it was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Girls just scattered across the place. Dolls just placed beside the corpses of those young girls. These girls are around my age or younger. And what they all had in common is that they all had baby faces. They all looked like dolls. Girls from Lolita fashion to girls who just looked like Benjamin Buttons. They were all just scattered across the floor, blood spreading all over the fucking wall. And I was just so terrified. I was about to run. And then he grabbed me by the hair and said, "You're not going anywhere." And so he grabs me and puts me in a box. And then after I regained my strength, I was appalled because I saw a box was made of the flesh and bones and the skin of the girls I saw around me, and he treated me like a doll. He said, "I'm not gonna hurt you. You're just gonna sit there and be my little doll." I was terrified. I thought he was going to kill me. And he said, "Put this on." And so I put it on because I thought he was going to hurt me if I didn't. I thought he was going to kill me. And then he said, "Perfect. Now you're my own little doll. And if you move, I'm going to fucking kill you. You piece of worthless shit. You're nothing but a worthless piece of shit to me, and you're nothing but my bitch," he told me. And I was terrified. I was like, "No, no, no." And until I knew it, my eyes closed and my clothes were off and my special parts were in pain. And I knew what he did. I knew what he has done to me. And so I stayed there in my dress, terrified, thinking, is this my life from now on? Am I gonna have to live through this over and over again? But then a different voice whispered in my ear saying, "You're gonna be okay." "Who's there?"
"Don't worry, child. It's just me. Just call me your best friend. The one that will change your life forever."
"Who are you?" I looked at him closely, and he had skin red like blood, like flesh, and his horns were as black as ebony, and he had hooves that looked like the legs of a goat, and his tail just... And I knew he was the devil. I knew it. And he said,
"Oh, don't misunderstand. I'm not the devil. I'm not anything. I am definitely greater than the devil. Just call me God. Call me the master of all deities."
I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. I was literally pissing myself and shitting myself. I was just terrified. I was more terrified than I'd ever been in my life. And then he grabbed me by the face. And then he told me,
"I will make your dreams come true. When I'm done with you, you will be respected and feared."
And so he absorbed some sort of energy inside me, and then I passed out. When Gerard came downstairs, he said, "Amy." And I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. I really didn't know what to do. I tried to break out, and then I did. Because after I broke out the metal cage with human skin on top of it, I was surprised. And for some reason, my skin felt different. It felt more like fiberglass. Like, it felt like glass. And if I fell, it wouldn't break though. Unless I broke it myself. Gerard went downstairs and yelled at me, calling me all these names, saying, "Why am I out of my cage?" And so he took out his axe, and I thought he was going to kill me, but then something whispered inside me saying, "You have the power. You can do this. Kill him. Give him what he deserves." And so I found one of the axes that he cut one of the girls open with, and I took it and I sliced it right at him. I tackled him with the axe, and I kept cutting him one by one by one by one. Every limb, every single cut, I enjoyed. Oh yeah, I've just enjoyed every single cut of that victim. I enjoyed it so much that I even wore his face. But I thought it just smelt. I just took out his bones and I made him into a rag doll. I stuffed him with the human remains of the cage, and I stuffed him with those remains, and I made him into a little rag doll. And then I took both the axes. The axe that he was going to kill me with, and the axe I killed him with. And so I went home to the toy maker. He was pleading for his life, but with no remorse I killed him. I destroyed his entire body. I made sure his head was replaced with an actual doll head. I sewed his real body and the doll head together, and it was one of my most amazing masterpieces. And then what I did with his actual head, I hung it out like a lantern. I stuffed out his brains. I put in a candlelight, and boom, he was a little candle. He was a lantern. And then I went downstairs and I saw to Amy. He gave me a scarf that I could just wear. It was a purple and orange scarf. I thought, oh my god, this is so cute. And so I put it around the hinge of my neck. And then I thought, this isn't good enough. And so I made a permanent smile across my face, making sure that I smile forever, just enjoying the cuts and slices of all my victims, just letting them smile as their last sight. And then I thought, this isn't enough, so I cut apart my stomach, and then for some reason it didn't bleed. It was just a hollow husk. And I thought to myself, it must really be a monster then. So I closed it back up and I sewed it together. I did one more alteration to my body. I just pulled out my eye, and then my eye sockets broke like glass. And for some reason, it didn't bleed. It was just a hollow black hole in there. I was like, okay, I can live with this. And so I stuck it in my tongue. I cut a humongous hole in my tongue, and then I put the eyeball in there so I can see what I was eating. I can see all the flesh, all of the bones crackling as I chew their delicious, rotten, disgusting flesh. And so I took one of my jackets, I cut it in half, and then I went running to the forest to never be seen again. But there have been sightings of me. As they say that there is a girl living in the forest. Don't go too far into the forest. They're correct. But hopefully no one hears my story. Because honestly, if you hear my story, I'll come find you. And I'll come kill you. Oh! I almost forgot. I forgot to tell you my name. My name's Amy. But you can call me Hatchet Amy.